guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. In today's video, I want to talk to you about my Fire Knight 10 hard team that I've been working on for quite a while, and I think I got it to the point where it's perfect, at least for now for me. And it's actually the same team that I did a video a while back, I think it was like 1 or 2 weeks ago, where I'm using double Gnut, because you know I have 2 Gnut, I was fortunate enough. I'm using Tombhlord, then Longbeard and Lona Tharl. It's really funny for me, and I guess at the same time it's nice, the fact that I have found a space for Lona Tharl that, you know, he was a fusion a while back, but he wasn't that, you know, that impressive. He wasn't that useful, and that makes me a little bit happy because, well, first of all, I skipped that fusion and I did not get him, but I did manage to pull him after a short while. And the reason why he's so good for this team is because he's one of the very few, like, I think it's like 3 in the whole game. He's one of the very few ally attackers that teams up with the whole team, and, you know, it's himself as well. He joins the ally attack, which makes it a lot better for the Fire Knight to take down that shield. Because when it comes to the Fire Knight hard, especially on stage 10, it's so hard to do it because there's 21 ticks that you need to get down, and if you do get hit, it's really painful. Like, the Fire Knight hits so hard, and you don't want to get hit by that one. I know there's some other variations of people that use only 1 Gnut, but they use a Kymar for reset and stuff like that. The most common teams are the ones that use Cardiel and Valkyries, or I think it was Cardiel and Martyr. I don't have Martyr, I don't have Cardiel, so it's a little bit difficult for me to actually do that exact team. So this is the one that I got, you know, as closest to perfection as possible, that even if I take a hit, I'm still able to come back, because the hit usually happens here towards the end, and my ally attackers do come back to their ally attack, so I should be able to, you know, still come back and still be able to defeat it, unless, I don't know, some extremely bad RNG happens. But so far this team has only failed, I think, once or twice, and I did like hundreds of runs. The average time I get is somewhere between like 151 that you see over here until like maybe 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And you know what, I'm pretty happy with that time, because, well, it's a really good time considering it's the hardest content in the game, honestly. Like this, the Fire Knight 10 hard is the hardest content in the game, so I'm happy that I managed to get it to this point. And well, let me show you what I did in order to, you know, crack the code and make it 100% reliable, and basically throw away, so to speak, the RNG side of it. And one of the first things that I did was I removed both of my Gnuts from Relentless. Having them in Relentless makes it hard to time the skills exactly as you want them on the waves or on the boss part, so that's what I did. But let's have a look at the presets. So first of all, I have my Longbeard open with the ally attack in the first wave, then do not use anything. Second wave, open with the A2, then do not use anything. I could even book it, like, you know, I should just throw 2 more books into this one once I get to the CVC, I guess. When there's PRs, I just need to throw some more books and finish it. But anyway, open with A2, then do not use the ally attack, and then on the boss part, prioritize and open with the ally attack from Longbeard, because what's gonna happen is I do not want to let the Fire Knight get a turn from the beginning, so I start straight up with the ally attacks. Then when it comes to Lona Tharl, I open with the A2, which is an AoE hit and can hit pretty decently. Then I do not use anything on wave 1. On wave 2, I open with the A2 again, and again, don't use the A3, but if he comes back to his A2, that's not a problem. And then on the boss part, prioritize the ally attack, because, well, what's gonna happen is both of the ally attacks will go into the shield, and I take it down with all the multi-hits and the Phantom Touch that I have in this team. So one quick tip, as many as many Phantom Touches that you have, use them all, because that's gonna help you take down the shield faster. Then when it comes to Tombhlord, I open with the A3, then do not use either of these skills on the first wave. Second wave, again, same thing. I open with the A3, then do not use it. And then on the boss part, I open with the A1 because it's a triple hitter. Do not use the poison at all, and then prioritize the decreased defense and decreased attack in case he does not land it. You know, on the first time you want it to definitely be there, so you do more damage with War Master and Giant Slayer procs. Then when it comes to the Gnuts, it's a little bit of a tricky one, because you kind of want to have the skills. At least this is what worked for me. The presets is what made it work for me, and that I do enough damage and I give enough time so I come back to my cooldown, so everything falls in sync on wave 1, wave 2, and then on the boss part. So let's start with the fast Gnut, because I have one of the Gnuts going in between the ally attackers. You see, it's 267 on Atharel, 282 Longbeard, but 278 Gnut, and then Tomblor's like 275. So unless Tomblor kills something on the first wave, he's not gonna cut in line, because I have the mastery that gives him speed. However, if he does do that, it's not a problem. So the fast Gnut opens with the A2. Do not use the A2, do not use the A3 on the first wave. That's really important. You just want that one hit and then do the A1s. Then when it comes to the second wave, open with the A2 and then prioritize the A3. Okay, this is important because you kind of want to have that on cooldown once you get to the boss, so he does a few A1s. Otherwise, if he doesn't, if he comes back to this one too fast, then we're not gonna have enough turn meter control. The boss gets a turn and we might die. Then when it comes to the boss part, you don't use the A2. I make him, just in case something, goes wrong, because he's the fast one, I make him open with the Blessed Bash with the A3 if he has it ready. If not, he's gonna go with the A1, so that's just fine. But this is depending on, in case some RNG happens and he has the A3 ready. Even though you waste a little bit of damage, it's good for the sake of reliability for you to use that, because that means for 2 or 3 turns, depending if I proc a mastery, he's gonna be doing just the A1s, which are gonna deplete the turn meter, so it's gonna keep the boss's turn meter down. Then when it comes to the slow one, I open with the A3 on the first wave. Do not use the A2, do not use the A3. On the second wave, I open with the A2 and then prioritize the A3. Same principle. I want both the A3s to happen on the second wave so that they are on cooldown once I get to the boss part. And then, they're going to do a few A1s so that we keep the boss's turn meter down. And then when it comes to the boss part, the slowest one, open with the A1 and then let him do whatever, because if he does have this one available but the boss's shield is down, yes, I'm gonna do more damage, but the boss will have too much turn meter, so I want to deplete more of the boss's turn meter. That's why I prioritize the A1. So basically, even if he does the A1 but then somehow has the A3 available, I should still have enough turn meter control from the other Gnut, from the faster one, to keep him in check and don't let him do his shenanigans. Now let's have a quick look at the builds that I have them in. So first one is Lon Atharel. I did have him before in a reflex and some other stuff, but again, it was not reliable enough, too much RNG, so I just put him in Savage, which means it helps me on the first wave and the second wave to do enough damage to kill all the minions whenever I want, at the right timing, so then he comes back to the next skills at the right time for the next waves. These are his stats, 263. I didn't give him 100% crit rate because don't really need it. Plus, it's not that important for him to have a 100% crit rate. And also, I'm using the lead from Longbeard, so I can drop his crit rate a little bit lower. I think Longbeard has 23 in dungeons. Let me double check. Yeah, 23% crit rate in dungeons. So that helps me be able to lower his crit rate. And I'm only doing this for him because other people I'm using in other areas, whereas Lon Atharel, he's just used over here. I do have them fully booked, it obviously helps, and then masteries, I do have War Master, and then down the support tree for a chance to extend that increased crit damage. Then when it comes to Leoris, did I call him Leoris all this time? Longbeard. Longbeard. So Longbeard is in a reflex because I need him to come back to those ally attacks as often as possible to make it, to make it reliable and have the boss's turn meter kept down. But even if this does not proc a few times, it's still okay. As you saw, like I said, there's been only like 2 or 3 runs that I failed in hundreds, and those were like, I don't know, extremely bad RNG, lots of resist and stuff like that. So he's in reflex plus a little bit of refresh, one accessory, and I tried to give him some damage but make him mostly fast, and I did give him some accuracy. If you look over here with the finite bonuses, I tried to give him some accuracy so that he places the weaken on the boss part, so we do extra damage with the A1s. I can make it even more reliable, I guess, even though it's like pretty reliable right now. If I just turn this one off, it just goes a little bit slower, because not having the weaken means the War Master and Giant Slayer procs do less damage, and all the damage overall it's gonna be a little bit less without the weaken. Masteries, he has War Master and down the support tree. Then this is, I think this is the fast Gnut. Yeah, so the fast Gnut is 274 with the Fire Knight stats 278, 100% crit rate, good defense, good crit damage, decent accuracy. You need around 345, so I need to pump his accuracy a bit more, but I didn't go higher because I'm hopefully gonna do some more live arena and just improve it from the area bonuses. I'm gonna improve the accuracy a bit more. Obviously they're all fully booked, masteries, giant slayer, and then down support tree. The other Gnut kind of like same masteries, just Evil Eye or Lord of Steel doesn't really matter. Then this one is in lethal. Okay, this one's made with damage. This one's a bit faster, so I could not get I cannot get lethal or savage. But the second Gnut is in lethal. He's running at 258. Again, 100% crit rate, good defense, good crit damage, decent accuracy. Again, this one I need to improve it a bit more, like another 20 from the area bonuses. And then I have Tomb Lord actually in reflex because I want him to have the decreased defense for the second wave, okay? So he uses it on the first one, but by the time he uses it, at least one person is going to be under 50% HP, which means he's going to straight up proc an extra turn, which means it's going to help to have the Blight ready for the second wave because it has like 2 or 3 times it has the chance to proc the reflex. So this one's pretty reliable as well. And I also I had the blood shield accessory for him for other areas, but I guess I can remove that and just try and give him more damage. He's running at, like I said, 271, 100% crit rate, good accuracy, and some attack, which I could give him. Keep in mind, you want Tomb Lord, if you're going to use him, to have 100% crit rate, because the A1, in order to land decreased speed, you need him to crit. So that's really important. And then Mastery is Giant Slayer, and again down the support tree. Again, I want to mention the fact that the more Phantom Touch you have on your people, the better, because, well, basically this one counts as an extra hit on the shield, and it's going to help you take that shield down faster. So overall, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty proud of this team that, you know, I've been working, trust me, I've been working for at least over a month with this, kept trying to improve it, trying different things, trying, you know, relentlesses, reflexes, savage, shield sets. I tried with Stag Knight instead of Tomb Lord. It's just, I prefer Tomb Lord because if he crits, unless he gets 3%, Tomb Lord has 100% chance to land a decreased speed on the boss, and you really need that. Whereas Stag Knight, he does not have 100%. He's like, I don't know, 50% or something like that on each hit, and I saw that that was not reliable enough, and if I don't land a decreased speed, it can be scary and it can fail, and I obviously do not want this to fail because it costs a lot of energy, especially if I'm doing super raids. It's gonna be even worse. So that's why I prefer Tomb Lord. But like I said, you can use Stag Knight if you don't have Tomb Lord. Just keep in mind that you might need those extra Phantom Touches on people, and it might be a little bit scarier. You might need to have Stag Knight in a shield set or something like that in case you do get hit, to be able to take that one hit. Otherwise it can be troublesome, and like I said, you don't want to fail. If you're trying to copy this type of team, like, you know, make this concept, but you do not have a second Gnut, you can try and use somebody like a Yakar of the Scourge. You can try and use what's his name, Creodan the Blue. It's not gonna work exactly the same with these exact presets, but what you can do is you can try and see if it works. If not, just push back a few levels. You know, instead of doing stage 10, maybe you go to stage 6, and then it should work pretty fine, and it should be a lot easier because on lower stages you only need like 18 ticks on the shield in order to take it down, so that should work pretty good. It's you know, I did farm a lot of stage 6 instead of stage 10 because it was easier and reliable, but I wanted to, you know what, I have an endgame account, I wanted to farm stage 10, so I got myself here. I'm pretty proud and pretty happy of this team. And it's, like I said, it's pretty fun. I always want to farm dungeons if they are under like 3 minutes. If it's over 3 minutes, I'm not happy. You know, I want this to be speed farms. I don't have the time to just keep farming this 24/7. So if I could not get this team under 3 minutes consistently, I would have just moved back to stage 6 and just farmed there for a while. But yeah, this is gonna be it for the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this, you know, helps you, or maybe gives you some ideas of how you can build your team, seeing the team that I'm using. And hopefully you're gonna farm as much of this Fire Knight, because it's still one of the best dungeons in the game to farm when it comes to gear, as it gives lots of the good sets, you know, Savage, Regen, Stun, all that good stuff. But yeah, anyway, this is gonna be it for the video today, guys. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.